Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. This is a little weekly series that I do here on my YouTube channel where I reach back into my stash of older papers, products, dyes, tools, techniques, and we make something fresh and beautiful together. Fall's my favorite season. I'm having a blast playing with my fall papers. So I went into my stash and I pulled out Carta Bella's Welcome Fall. This is last year's fall collection, but it's fresh and beautiful even now. I have the 12 by 12. I also have this 6 by 6 card makers because sometimes I like the smaller patterns. But this is just classic, traditional, beautiful fall colors and images. So love, love, love this collection. It's really beautiful to work with. So what are we going to make? Well, I love tags. And I was pondering what to do today, and I thought, let's make a little tag book. But this time, I've made them in the past with Graphic 45's tags, but today I want to use Heartfelt Creations album tags and accents. This is a beautiful 12-piece set. And it has this lovely shaped outer tag design and then an inner liner. And then there's a bunch of little embellishments that you can use to decorate the tag. I'm just going to use that inner and outer liner, and we're going to make a little tag book. So I went into, let me put this away. I went into my 12 by 12 papers and I cut out some panels that I thought looked well together. And then I also went into my cardstock and I chose this really pretty chocolatey brown, and I chose this color from Spellbinders called Tomato Soup. It's so perfect with this collection. And we're going to make a little book together. So the first thing we want to do, and I got ahead of myself here, but I'm going to show you how to fix that. The first thing we're going to do is take this larger outer tag and we're going to make a little spine. And I've taken a piece of paper. This is just a scrap of my brown cardstock. I've cut it to 1 3/4 by 4 1/2, and I've scored it a 1/2 inch. Then I went 3/4 of an inch over from that, and then another 1/2 inch. And this is going to be the little spine on our album. We're going to have a 3/4 inch spine. Because who knows, we might put a little pocket in here. I've been known to do such crazy things. All right. So I'm going to put my adhesive here. Well, actually, I actually cut another smaller liner piece because I want this good and sturdy. And I scored this at the same, along those same lines, but you can see it's just slightly smaller. All right, so now that we've got this and it's folded and it's nice and sturdy, I'm going to put my adhesive right here, and I'm going to line this up against the edge, the right-hand edge of my tag, and just press that into place. So why do we do this first? The reason we do this first is I want to cover up this hinge so it becomes like an invisible spine. You don't know that this piece is glued down. All right, so now we can come in with this liner, see, and it covers up where we added the spine, which is very cool. Now, normally I would do the same thing on this one, but I foolishly already added my papers. I was trying to prepare in advance for this, but instead I'm going to put this behind, and I want to make sure I'm going to use my grids on my glass mat. Put a couple of my magnets here to hold this in place, and I want to make sure I'm lined up evenly, which I need to go up just a little bit. I love this glass board studio mat because it comes in so handy when you're trying to line things up like this. press that into place. And then I'm going to come over here onto the back. And that looks good. All right. So now we'll put our back in place and it will cover it up on the back. But now we've got this sweet little book. So I'm going to go ahead and add my other liners. I will tell you very quickly, this is the one that the die cut, and it's perfect, so you don't have to really do much. But then when I use this same small one to cut my patterned paper liner, because I wanted this nice and sturdy, what I did, let me see if I can find one that I haven't cut yet. Okay, if you look along the edge, there's a little indentation where the die, the edge of the die. So I put this into my cutting tool and I just cut slightly inside of that line. And then I took a little extra off the bottom and it makes it fit perfectly. See, just like this. So I'm going to put this in. And again, these are the 12 by 12 papers that I am using. So this is going to go right here. Like this. And these are my front and back covers. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Then I cut another out of the orange paper. I trimmed it, and this is the small die. I trimmed it to at 4 inches, and then I added these little 1.5 by, it's just about 1 3/4 inch gussets, and I just scored these at 1/2, 5/8, and 1/2. And glue these on the sides. Now I'm going to put my adhesive on the flaps. And I scored 5/8 of an inch along the bottom. And this is going to make a little box pocket. Isn't that cute? So like that. Scored it here, then scored 5/8 of an inch. So where's the first score? If you measure from the rounded top, the first score is at 2.5, and then go 5/8 of an inch from there. And this is going to glue down right here. And it's a perfect fit because it's the die cuts the width, which is very nice. You don't have to measure, you don't have to do anything hardly. It's really, really sweet. So I'm just going to press this into place. And hold on, I'll be back. Now to cover the pocket, I went into my scraps and I found this 5 1/8 by 2 inch scrap. And I scored 5/8 inch flaps on the sides, and I scored down 1.5 inch here. I'm going to bring in my scissors, and I'm just going to cut along this scored line and cut a little slice out of here. Then we're going to fold on our scored lines. We're going to put adhesive on this tab and on this tab. We're going to fold these in, and this is going to make a pocket. This is going to make a cover for that pocket. Now this little piece right here was one of the little banner stickers from the sticker sheet that came in the 12 by 12. Here we go. Whoops. All right. Check it to make sure it fits. And it does. Look how cute that is. Goodness, that is so cute. I might find like a little tiny strip of a contrasting pattern or something to go along the top, or see if I have a sticker or washi tape that would work there. But for now, that's the inside. Now let's go ahead and get this back cover put on. And these, again, I just cut with that inner die from the Heartfelt Creations die set. I love that these dies do this. And they're such a pretty shape. And if you wanted to, you could add a metal grommet, but I don't necessarily feel the need for that. So I'm just centering this up here. And then on the front, and I will link to these products on my blog, and if you look below in the description box, I will also put a link to my blog post there. So look, now we have this darling little tag book. So I'm just going to cut a contrasting spine to go here, and I'm going to cut a liner to go here. So I went into my 6x6 pad, and I found this cute pattern of these little rolled roses, and I cut a 2, it's just over 2 by 4 1/4 inch piece. And what I do is I just kind of wrap it around my spine, and then I crease it to make sure that it fits. And this is really cute as a little contrasting spine on our little tag album here. So I'm going to add my adhesive. And then I thought it would be fun to do a magnetic tab closure on this. So I'll show you what I've prepared. I'm just going to line this up where it goes. All right. So I die cut another set of these tags. Now I did a triple layer because I wanted this to be sturdy. In retrospect, I would have just done my patterned paper and the brown. I would have left the orange out because it's a little thick. But I cut these short. So and I probably could have left them long, and I think it would have been just fine, but I wasn't sure. So I went 5 5/8 on the brown. And then of course the orange is die cut and trimmed to 5 3/8, and then the inside paper I did just like I told you. So I scored this. I don't know if you can see that. It's 3 7/8. And then I went over 3/4 of an inch and scored it in a spine. So we're going to adhere this part on the back of our album. Like this. And then this wraps around to the front. And score tape is probably a great idea. I wish I had done score tape, but we're just going to make this work. Just going to let it set for a minute. And while that's setting, okay, I die cut another little tag piece out of this cute rolled roses pattern to line. Oops, no, I don't want to do that yet. That would be getting ahead of myself. I need to place my magnets, is what I need to do. So these are basic gray, large magnetic snaps. And I'm going to put this magnet right here. And then I always like to use a bit of score tape over it just to make sure it's really stuck down. So like this. Okay. Now I can come in with my little liner and I just cut the whole, this is the liner tag, I cut the whole piece because then I was able to trim out a piece for the spine here. And the scrap of this is what I used to cut this contrasting spine. So now I'm going to come in with my opposite magnet, which is a negative. See, it places this right there. So it's perfectly placed so that the magnets will line up. And I'm going to take another little piece of score tape and put it here. And of course, this will be covered up with some sort of focal image, all right? But that's how I love that sound when they, when those magnets catch. It's a really good sound. So these are cute. This is really cute. I like the way this looks. And that's the basics. I'm going to go ahead and dress mine up. If I come across anything that I think is crucial, I'll come in and show you. I'm running kind of short on time today, but I wanted to show you how to build the basic little tag box. So if you have this wonderful Heartfelt Creations album tags and accents, you can make this sweet little tag book. And we'll put some goodies inside. I'll show you what I do. I'll come back. All right, friends, let's keep working on this. I'll show you where we are now. I die cut from that same tag set, this little eyelet background, and then used the inset to cut out from the 6x6, the mums, and then added this from the ephemera pack here. Over here is another little bit from the ephemera pack and a little sticker over here. And then we open this up. I turned this piece, this tag from the ephemera pack, into a little pocket and added a little tag in there. And then here's our main pocket. And you can see I took the sticker off here. I ended up cutting another of the tag insets to get this piece off the top. And I just like the way this looks so much better. I just think it looks really good. So on the inside, we've got a cute little spoon. We've got a piece of chocolate. We've got a Biscoff cookie. We've got a honey stick. And then I just made a little 3.5 by 4¼ inch gift card insert. This has our pumpkin spice, room to write a note. So this goes at the back. See if I can get all this back in here again. This is the challenge. And then the chocolate goes here and the spoon goes here. So I don't want to do too much because otherwise, if I do, this won't close. So most of our decoration is going to be here. I have prepared, I got this little piece of ribbon. This is cappuccino, 3/8 inch satin with a gold edge. And I'm just cutting a piece here. I'm going to come up here to the top of my spine. I really like the contrast of this rich, rich coffee brown with all the oranges. It just looks really nice. So I'm just going to tie a little. Well, actually, let me do this first. I prepared a little set of charms. Put them on jump rings. Because a dangle charm is just so cute on a little tag album like this. So I'm going to tie a square knot. And then I'm going to tie a little bow. And I'm folding the middle part of my ribbon in half. And then you come back and you just adjust it. All right. So there's our cute dangle charm. I've got a leaf, a pumpkin, and a little amber gem. That's sweet. And I'll fuss with that bow a little bit. I want it a little smaller. But I can fuss with that on my time. Right now, what I want to work on is right here. So I went into my Reneabouquets goodies, and I've got this layered pumpkin, and I did a little mixed media magic here. The first thing I did, this is the backer piece, and I just took strips of scrapped cardstock, laid it down, and just loosely trimmed around it, then inked the edges. Then I took my Emboss It dabber, I got a little bit on my finger, and I just randomly tapped over this and heat embossed with Seth Apter Ancient Amber. And it gives it this nice glow. It almost looks like it's lit up. Then this is the topper. And for this, I used Distress Oxide inks directly to, see, it's white. I went directly to the chipboard, and then I heat embossed with Seth Apter Vintage Beeswax. And that's what gave it this wonderful shiny appearance. When you use these types of embossing powders, you have to heat them longer than you normally would. And you will know when you're at the done point, like it's completely baked, because it gets very liquidy. Most embossing powders don't reach that point, but because of the different element flakes that are in the Seth Apter, it does. It gets very liquidy, and you can see it begins to puff and rise, and it just like if you put a cake in the oven. It's pretty cool, actually. So now I've just glued this onto here. Now I'm going to come in with my mustard seeds from the kitchen. This is one of my favorite things to do on any kind of a mixed media project. And where my glue has sort of, I'm just pressing this down real well. Where my glue has kind of oozed out, I'm just going to put these in. Whoops. Press them into place. Try not to spill them all over your desk. See how neat that looks? It just adds a really cool texture and makes it look sort of organic and rustic and fun. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You could totally just color these with alcohol markers or whatever kind of medium you wanted to use. So now I want to make a little bed for my pumpkin on the cover. And I went into my stash and I found some Spanish moss, and I'm just going to spread this out. I'm going to come in with my hot glue. I'm going to be pretty generous here. I'm going to press this down. Oops. Into my hot glue. There we go. Okay. And then this is just some straw that I've picked up. Who knows where I grab these things from. I'm always seeing little things. I think I actually grabbed this on the beach, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool texture. I'm going to come back in, add this on top. All right. Now I'm going to put hot glue on the back of my pumpkin. That looks really neat. Okay. And then this is another Reneabouquets. This is from her Fancy Fall leaf tuck-ins. This is one of my favorites because of the acorns. Put that right there. Ooh, I'm liking this, you guys. I think it looks really cool. All right, so now I'm going to got a big glue web going on here. Okay, I put down some of my dries clear. I'm going to sprinkle in some of these mustard seeds. And then also from the kitchen, this is green peppercorns. These look really neat in a project like this where you're just going for a lot of organic elements. They smell good too, which is nice. All right. Pull off all these glue webs. Looks pretty good. Look how neat that looks. Now, if you don't like all that kind of funky texture, you know, vintage, mixed media look, just do it straight, but I happen to love it, so I love to add these little elements. All right, let me clean up and I'll be back and we'll finish this guy off. All right, friends, here we are all finished up. The only additions I made were these buttons with bows back behind them, a little bow tucked in here, and I wrapped some copper wire around the handle of a paintbrush and kind of tucked it in to the pumpkin because I thought that looked really neat. I'm not going to open this up because a lot of stuff is still drying. Oh yeah, and then I did feathers. I took 2 feathers. I put them on here on the stem of the pumpkin, put a little tiny string bow and a little itty bitty button there. So what we have is a triangle, right? And then we have a triangle this way. So what triangles do is they help your eye move through a project and see all the pieces. Always try to build a triangle into your compositions. It makes an amazing difference. So that is it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. I'll have a photo array at the end of this tutorial so you can look at the still shots and enjoy those. I'll put the link to my blog so you can, if you want to make this yourself with these same products, you can find the list of them there. But this was a fun Throwback Thursday. Thanks for joining me and happy fall, y'all. Go get your craft on.